making about £880. Failed myself to make £2.5 a week.
That's a massive transformation. You was like a 2.0 version of you. New cow arrived.
I had like 540 bookings within 48 hours, 20 grand within 48 hours, like 70,000 views in like 2 days.
Crazy. Who doesn't want to be a 10, 15K barber? Everybody does, right? But who's going to wake up every single day, film themselves, put themselves on camera?
I do better than them in the scale of customer and footfall just because I've created a brand.
You can either be a perfect barber who's really good at cutting hair, or you can also be a businessman who's got great haircuts and make a load of dough. Gone from being in the shop to now running your own shop with lads working for you.
It's mad what you can actually achieve. It's the more money you invest, the more money you get back. And I needed an external source to come in, kind of just switch my brain up.
Barber, you can be working really, really hard, but you can get burnt out. Coaches have coaches. There's so much more to barbering than just the technical side. Right, here we are. So today I'm joined by Mr. Callum Gore from Wales, Swansea. You've been absolutely killing it. How are you, bro? You good?
Yeah, I'm good, mate. Good. Life's really good at the moment, I'll be honest.
Wicked.
We're all locked in. We're all ready to go. It's amazing, I'll be honest.
Setting up for a big 2026, bro.
Yeah, I'm locked in. I had my Christmas fun out the way, seeing all my family, seeing all my friends, and now it's time to lock back in.
That's it, bro. So for anyone who's watching today, if you could break down to them who Callum Gore is and your story, bro, just to let the audience know.
Yeah, so my name's Callum Gore. Obviously, I'm 24 from a little village in Wales. I started off working with my old man in a family-run spraying company. So we sprayed like cars, lorries, fair rides and stuff. So I started working there when I was about 11 in the summer holidays and stuff. I was there for a couple of years. I built my father's company pretty well online for a good couple of years, and then I got to a point where I was just like, right, I want to find something that's like 100% mine. Do you know what I mean? I was kind of just fed up with being like the boss's son and stuff like that. But I just didn't know what I wanted to do. I always loved doing my own hair. I took pride in my hair and how I looked and stuff. So I thought, right, I need to factor in on this. Like I need to lock in on it. But I didn't know the right avenue to go down with barbering. Obviously, okay. I seen people who go into a shop and they're standing there sweeping floors for like a year or two, and like I'm either 100% or not. I kind of like a bit of a fast track to things like. So yeah. I started in a barbering academy in Wales, right, in Cardiff. That was a 10-week course, I think it was.
Okay. I think the key takeaway there is that you had the mindset from an early age. One, it sounds like your dad, to start you working in the family business from 11 years old, gave you a work ethic that you can't be taught.
Yeah,
right?
100%.
It's very positive. And then you wanted to do your own thing. How long out of interest was that on your mind for? Because most people just would have went for the easy route and followed through with the family business.
To be fair, I always, even in my father's business, I was always kind of doing my own thing in with the business. Do you know what I mean? So I started my own like wrapping as like a little side thing using the spray tech name. So I had a wrapping side of it. I had my own MOT and tyre garage with it as well. So I always kind of wanted to, I think it was a bit of like proving myself. Do you know what I mean? Prove myself to my father and my family that I have got what they've got, but I just need to do it in my own way. Does that make sense?
That's important. That's important. I like that. And you found like barbering was the vehicle for you. And also you wanted to invest into a course instead of being an apprentice. So you wanted to fast track your way through the way.
Yeah, 100%. And I think with a course and a fast track, it doesn't give you really that room to like dawdle around. Does that make sense?
More intense.
Yeah, literally 100%. It's more intense. You have to lock in. You have to be 100%. Otherwise, it's not going to happen for you. Do you know what I mean?
Definitely. Is that a route that you would recommend as well if people if they were new to the game?
Yeah, I would recommend it, but then I'd also say that like you have to be fully, like the mindset has to be there in order to put the hard work in after you do the courses or after you do these type of things. Like, because you can go to, say, educational courses, right? You go there for a day and you're learning like scissor work, for example. Like you're only there for like 4 hours a day. So this guy down the road now you're paying is only going to show you one cut for the day, but you have to then implement it then after the course. Does that make sense?
Course. So after, you're saying the mindset, you need that discipline to follow through with a plan as well.
100%. You can't just blame the course then for you not implementing it. Does that make sense?
Correct, bro. Definitely, yeah. So you got into barbering, you done your 10-week course, and what was the plan after that?
So I done the 10-week course then, and then I came back to Swansea, and I just couldn't find a job. I was literally stuck. I was doing haircuts in my house, doing butchering a few of my mates, like.
Standard.
Yeah, literally. And then I thought, right, how can I get a job here now? So what I done was I done a post of all the haircuts that I've done, and I thought, right,
Yeah.
if I just tag every barbershop in Swansea now, at least one of them is going to give me a job. Surely I tagged like 50 barbershops in it. Eventually, then I did have one. I had one come back, which was Ace of Fades in Swansea. They gave me a job. They first started off. I kind of blagged my way through it, to be honest, and kind of sold them the dream, saying I can do this, I can do that, which I couldn't.
Yeah. Fake
They
it till you make it.
Literally, that's literally it. They started me off on £300 a week, and I remember leaving there, and I was landed.
Wow.
I was like, "Come on, £300 a week."
How old was you at that point, bro?
I was 20 at that point, I think. Yeah,
Okay.
20.
Nice.
Obviously, because I went from like literally having no money from barbering to getting actually paid. Do you know what I mean? I was like, "Whoa, this is amazing." So was there for about a month.
Right.
And then this was Christmas time, and so I joined in October. I was on 300. November, I was still on 300. Then by December, then they came to me and they were like, "Look, you're not good enough, basically.
Oh, wow.
We're gonna drop you down to 150 a week." And I was like, "Fuck." I was sitting there and I was like, "Right, I've got to lock in, otherwise I am just gonna be skinned." So then from December to, I remember it clear as day, December, January, February, March. By March time, then I was on £500 a week. Just from elevating myself and locking in and focusing in on Instagram, to be honest.
When you had that setback from your workplace, you didn't feel sorry for yourself. You thought, you know what, I've had a slap in the face here. I can't get away with my standard. I need to level up. And you made a conscious decision too. How did you level up? How did you lock in and focus after that point?
With me, I kind of always know that, like, at the start of something, I'm always like the worst at it. Does that make sense? So, like, in that barbering course now, I remember they sat with me and they were like, "Look, I don't know if barbering's for you." And I was like, right. But then you kind of just got to flip it and like use this motivation to like prove yourself. You can either sit in a corner and cry about it, or you can use the fuel for the fire.
Correct. Use it as fuel.
Yeah, so that's what I done really. I was quite lucky, to be fair, because that shop was in a high footfall of walk-ins.
Right.
So you have the opportunity then to make mistakes and never see these people again. I know it sounds a bit thing, like, but that is the barbering game, innit? Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So it was like a in and out job, cheap haircuts, quick turnaround, and that's how you was learning, by doing a lot of haircuts. How many haircuts was you doing a week at that point, would you say?
So I was only doing about, say, 30 haircuts a week, 40 haircuts a week at this point.
And was you on a commission split at that point?
No. They was just day rate. It was just £100 a day.
Nice. Okay, so you level up to like sort of 2K a month. And then did you stay at that shop, or did you go elsewhere from that point?
I then went elsewhere then, a bit closer to home and not so far away, like still a bit far away. I went to Stay Fresh Studio with Reese Bell. That was good, to be fair. It helped me gravitate myself at another level again. Do you know what I mean?
From a technical point of view, was that?
Yeah, technical point of view as well, and just more like name brand point of view. Do you know what I mean?
Right. And was that a booking system that they used at that shop as well, or was it still
booking system, and then there was commission there as well. So that I think I did for the first week. Obviously, this is with his commission now as well. I was on about for the first 3 months. I was about £500 a week, which I was a bit nervous then, because I went from having a steady day rate of £100 a week to now, right, I'm on commission now, so I get what I put in. So when I was
in the short term, you took a risk of almost going backwards to go forwards.
Yeah, 100%. And it was nerve-wracking, to be honest. I had some major doubts, like, because I was like, right, I got to stay. I thought it was a steady income here now, 100%, like. And then went to Stay Fresh. I was on about 450 to 500 for about a month, and then the footfall really started coming. I elevated myself to, like, I think I was pushing like £900 a week, and that's with his cut as well. Like, I mean, I took home £1,000 a week.
Okay. Wow. Okay. So, how long was you in that place for? How long was you in Stay Fresh for?
So I was in Stay Fresh for 2 years. I got to a point where I was slamming out 80 haircuts a week. Do you know what I
Wow.
mean? 70, 80 haircuts a week. And I just thought to myself, right, like you kind of don't need any external safety nets anymore. And I just thought, right, I can push this by myself. I can do my own thing. I appreciated all the time and effort I had from that place, but
Right.
it just wasn't where I seen myself going. Do you know what I'm saying?
And when you're doing that volume of haircuts, it's obviously it's heavy duty, isn't it? So was you doing 5 days a week where you're pretty much banged out?
I was doing 5 days a week, maxed out.
And what's the margin at that point?
So in Stay Fresh, I had 3 price increases, right? So I started off at 20, and then me and my boss had a chat, and then he wanted me to go up to 23, and I was like, yeah, that's fine. I was on 23 then for about 9 months, and then I got to a point in my head then where I was like, right, like. So the first price increase, I wasn't really too happy about. I was a bit nervous about, but the second price increase, I was like, right, I need to do this price increase. Like I was too busy, I was overworked, I was getting burnt out. I needed the money with less work, so I felt like my quality was going down.
I remember when we started working together, you must have been at Stay Fresh. I wasn't familiar with the name, but you was at Stay Fresh. As you mentioned, you were doing a lot of haircuts at the time.
Yeah.
And what made you there's a lot of barbers who want to get to that level where they're earning decent money in the shop. They're very, very busy, and your technical haircuts were fantastic at that point.
Mm-hmm.
So what was your mindset, and why did you want to invest in another course or invest in a coach or a mentor? What triggered you to have that mindset to get uncomfortable again and learn something new?
So I feel like when you've got a full clientele, you've got steady income in, most people could just either sit back and be like, right, I'm content with this now. I'm happy with this. I'll just plod along on autopilot. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And obviously from the way I was raised and stuff, and like coming from like a family of like business people and that, I just feel like I couldn't just keep. I couldn't stay content really. Yeah. So from a young age, I would have put my name on something and just show that I can create something on my own with no external help, really, to be honest.
Okay. Would you say that's because of like when it's just you, the man in the mirror, your mindset? Do you feel like you could respect yourself in years to come, looking back, thinking, I've done something myself there?
100%.
And was it that what triggered you to then sort of look at right now? Maybe did you feel like you was in your sort of in a comfort zone for a while? Because
I felt like I was in my comfort zone. I felt like I was just cruising along, and I was like, right, I'm not. My brain was so occupied with like doing clients and like just trimming along. I needed an external source to come in and just kind of just switch my brain up. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's where you come in.
100%. And as we mentioned, it's just sometimes with a mindset tweak or a shift, it can be someone looking at your operation from a bird's eye view who's been there as well. And I know exactly, as a barber, you can be working really, really hard, but you can get burnt out. And it's like, there's even certain things that you might know, I need to do content, I need to post every day, but there may not be the structure, there may not be the accountability. That's what we say. Coaches have coaches. There's nothing wrong with that. So what was your mindset before that? What was the things that you was looking at thinking, right, it'll be good to get someone in to look at my operation from a bird's eye view? And what do you think needed to change at that point?
I just think, so with content, obviously I was fully booked. So I was like, I needed to figure out why I wanted to do content and what was my purpose for content. Does that make sense? Yeah. Because usually people post content to get busier. I already was busy, so I just needed to. I think me and you just had a chat, and we just kind of focused in on why am I doing this content? And then you obviously came to me then saying like, right, what are your goals? And we set up my goals for the next year, and I obviously said to you like, look, I am going to be looking to have my own shop. Yeah. And then me and you was like, right, if we push the content now, you put yourself in a hierarchy position, so then when you open the shop, all the promotion, all that is already done technically. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
100%.
You've already got a name prior to opening the shop. That was kind of like the goal that me and you pushed forward.
100%. You went on to start your own shop, and how was that been for you, bro? What was your transition like?
Oof, well, obviously, me in the last shop had it was a bit of an iffy leaving. I kind of really only had 3 days to open the shop from leaving my last one. Obviously I had this video planned of like the whole renovation and stuff ready. So I posted that. I opened within 2 days. I think that video had like 70,000 views in like 2 days. And then I had another two videos backed up then just with the whole shop renovation. So I was creating the hype, creating the hype, creating the hype.
Yeah.
I dropped my booking app. I think I had like something crazy, like 540 bookings within 48 hours, I think, something like that. Yeah, so I cleared like 20, booking wise, I had like 20 grand within 48 hours.
Crazy. And you've also, off the back of that, that's a good point actually, because before, when it comes to posting content, like you was making a bit of content, but it was like your personal brand. I feel like you was way more confident when you was posting more regularly and you had a bit more of a structure. I remember when you opened up your shop, even like your talking seemed like you was like a 2.0 version of you, like the new cow arrived, you know?
Yeah. To be honest with you, obviously I see people like you on social media and like, you just got to speak with confidence and be 100% you. You got to speak like no one's there. Does that make sense?
Definitely.
And I was just trying to be raw. And like, I thought some of my other videos, when you're like you speak in a certain way, it's kind of like, it was kind of too fake for me. Just be 100% you, just talk to a camera as normal, pretend like no one's there. It was easy, but honestly, I just felt like it was like water off a duck's back, I'll be honest.
100%. I feel like a lot of people, my friend used to say it to me, was like, your videos don't seem like the real you, but I feel like you have to do a few reps, put yourself out there. There might be a mental barrier, but if you show up time and time again, you almost get to a stage where you can't even not be yourself because you've done it so many times.
Yeah.
The other side of it, it's been different. How important would you say the sort of content structure and the consistency was for the launch of your shop?
So I had it all planned out in my mind. So I had 3 videos pre-filmed before I even launched the shop, just because I knew I had to create the hype first. So my aim was to get these 3 videos out, create the hype, and then kind of like step back from the content a sec and let them videos do their thing. Because I had to build the internals of the shop and focus on what would actually happen physically rather than on social media. Do you know what I mean? So I opened at a vital time as well. I opened at the end of October. So I was bang on for Halloween. November is a very big month in Swansea as well, because it's called Booze Day. It's this massive day where everyone wears suits and stuff. That's another big day. And then obviously December's a mad month as well. So on the calendar for barbers, I opened at the busiest time of the year. So that social media presence boosted me to get fully booked for them 3 months. And then I just took a step back. But recently now, the past, I'd say around mid-December, I kind of thought, right, everything's structured in the shop now. I'm going to start pushing content. So I've just started to get videos here and there while I can. Now going forward, I've structured it so I can get about 2 videos a week. You get out of something what you put in, and the more money you invest, the more money you get back. That's what I've kind of learned in life. Do you know what I mean?
1,000,000%. That investor's mindset is very key. I feel like a lot of barbers have got like almost not a business owner's mindset. They've got like a worker's mindset where they get paid from this shop. They spend their money on things that make them feel good in the short term, and they don't invest. When it comes to investing, whatever the sum may be for their business, is like, why would I do that? There's no guaranteed returns. But as we said, business owners know you have to spend money on marketing. So if you're scared to invest in yourself, how can you one day invest in a shop, for example? Because there's no guarantees that shop will go well. So that self-belief is key. I remember your situation whilst you was working in the other shop, and you had a lot of bookings, right? And we was discussing your mindset around your price increase. How did you feel about that at the time? And how did you overcome the sort of price increase?
So in Stay Fresh, I had 3 price increases, right? So I started off at 20, and then me and my boss had a chat, and then he wanted me to go up to 23. And I was like, yeah, that's fine. I was on 23 then for about 9 months. And then I got to a point in my head then where I was like, right, like So the first price increase, I wasn't really too happy about. I was a bit nervous about, but the second price increase, I was like, right, I need to do this price increase. Like I was too busy. I was overworked. I was getting burnt out, and I needed to get to that point basically. I needed the money with less work. So I felt like my quality was going down.
For all of the barbers that are watching, they're going to be inspired by your story. How you can go from a fully booked barber working for somebody else to then investing in yourself with a mindset shift, as you mentioned earlier, but then overcoming the obstacles and the fears that a lot of guys would do, especially in that sort of comfort zone that a lot of barbers stay out for a long period of time. To overcome that, I mean, if you was to break that down, your sort of in a time zone, what was you earning before we was working together in that shop, and then obviously now you've got your own business? What would you be turning over now?
So a week I was making about £880, and then since me and you got working together then, and also implemented the mindset, I scaled myself to make £2.5 grand a week.
That's a massive transformation. It's like 3 extra income, right?
Yeah,
which is crazy. In this game of barbering, it's never an easy game because it's very heavy labor, isn't it? You have to trade a lot of time for money. But one thing that you've done very well as well, you've implemented everything that you've learned over the years, and you've also clearly shown your team how to scale as well. So you've also got a couple of barbers working for you in your shop as well, right?
Yeah, I got 2 boys. I got 2 boys rent the chair now, and then I got an apprentice who comes in on a Saturday morning, and just like a Saturday boy, like, do you know what I mean?
And you're teaching them the ropes as well, yeah?
Yeah. I'm just trying to get the boys now into the mindset of content, and in my shop now, the boys are kind of like shying away from it a bit. Only because I think it's just not natural for them. It's not natural for them to like put themselves out there. It's not natural for them to speak on camera and stuff. But I'm just trying to implement into them that like you've just kind of not got to care what people think of you. Do you know what I mean? You can either be a viewer or you're a creator. It's not, you haven't really got a choice anymore, I feel like.
It's a non-negotiable. As you mentioned earlier, you can be a content consumer, which is 99% of the world, or you could be a content creator. Now, to create content and be an influencer, a person who's going to be recognized and raise the bar, it takes a lot more energy and a lot more work rate and a certain mindset. It's not for the faint-hearted at all. You know?
Like I'm not sitting here like, look, I've only got like what 6,000 followers. I'm not sitting here like I've got millions of followers doing this and all that. But like I have got the business, I have got the numbers. Like they're not lying, are they? Do you know what I mean? Like numbers speak the truth. Like literally 100%.
And it shows you what you can do with a little mindset shift, right? So the fact that, as I said, there's a lot of barbers that we speak to who are booked out. They're good at cutting hair. They've built a client base. Like they've done 99% of the work, and sometimes it is that mindset shift where you can invest in yourself with the right mentor, and they could just help you out. Just look at your situation and hold you accountable as well.
If you're gonna go on these courses, and like you have to actually want it. Does that make sense? Like saying you want it and actually wanting it are 2 very different things.
Yeah, because you could have. For example, you can come on the blueprint. We can set you out a plan, but you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink.
Literally, 100%.
You don't want to get those results. If you could, I said to Cal many months ago. Right now, you're at about 3.5, 4K a month. You want it to be a 10K barber a month, 10, 15K barber. But he didn't just say it because who doesn't want to be a 10, 15K barber? Everybody does, right? But who's going to wake up every single day, film themselves, put themselves on camera, worrying about other people's opinions? Like there is a lot you have to do mentally and coach yourself through it. So yeah, credit where it's due. If you was to go through or recommend someone this blueprint, what would you advise them, bro?
Leave your sort of like opinions about how you are at the door and kind of be willing to take on criticism. Like, do you know what I mean? That's not just criticism, but like be able to say like, look, this is what I think. Because I think sometimes you can get kind of like blinded by your own work. Does that make sense? You're like tunnel vision and like, I think this is right. So you just got to be able to take on information from other people. Like, I don't think I'm the best barber at all. Like, I know I'm not. And I feel like in the area, there's a lot of underrated barbers who, in technical wise, deserve more than me.
There's a lot of good technical barbers in the UK who feel like my haircuts are good and they're better than this guy's. but this guy's charging more than me and he's making more money. And he may have been in barbering for a less amount of time. But if we were just judged off our haircuts and we got paid on the judgment of our haircuts, then everybody would be earning good money. But there's so much more to barbering than just the technical side. I feel like a lot of barbers in the UK especially are looking at trying to develop themselves technically, but they don't also want to look at the business side where you have to track your finances, you have to do your marketing, you have to develop your own voice online and social media, and also have that grit, determination and self-belief. And that's everything that we sort of focus on.
100%.
And really, it shows what can be done. Cal is a prime example of that. It's like he's obviously very good at cutting hair, but for him to admit that there's people out there who've got better haircuts than him, but he's doing better financially, then it speaks volumes, right? So it's like you can either be a perfect barber who's really good at cutting hair, or you can also be a businessman who's got great haircuts and make a load of dough.
Well, obviously, I've implemented the things, and I do better than them in the scale of customer and footfall, just because I've created a brand. I've created this hype around my name and the shop. But obviously that comes with a bit of stick as well. Like, you get a lot of people coming to me going, "Oh, I thought you were a bit of a knob before I met you, but you're actually right." And I'm like, "Yeah, well, it's just the way I portray myself online. Just I've got to create kind of like a thick skin with it all, and just think like, right, leave all opinions at the door, because at the end of the day, you're not going to even be bothering these people in 10, 20 years. Like, you're just going to look back and either regret or not regret." Do you know what I mean?
You know what they say? Lions don't lose sleep over the opinions of sheep.
Yeah, literally.
If you see yourself as a lion, as a boss, and somebody who wants 10, 15K, 20K months within barbering, you can't be worried about what everyone's going to say down the boozer, all of your client base and so forth, because it is genuinely almost like crabs in a bucket. People want to see you do well, but not better than them. And especially, I know I'm not from a small town, but I can imagine what it's like in a small town. I bet it's even more intense because there's a lot of people watching you and so forth. So how would you say you deal with that as well, bro? Because you must be getting talked about quite a lot now.
To be fair, I've always kind of put myself out there, even before I was a barber, just like posting on Instagram and stuff. So I kind of just had to develop sort of a thick skin. And I was like, the people who say things about you don't actually know you. Do you know what I mean? Like, if you actually knew me, you wouldn't have this opinion about me. That's what I kind of had to just get in the mindset of, basically.
Yeah, powerful.
Yeah.
Powerful. So, we could wrap that up, bro. That was a powerful one for a lot of barbers who genuinely, I reckon it's been about 6 months since that transformation of where you've gone from being in the shop to now running your own shop with lads working for you. And it shows what's possible, you know?
Yeah, literally. Do you know what's mad? Like, I'm now looking back, I always used to think like, "Oh, I can't do that because I'm not good at it, or I can't do this." And like, learning to cut hair, learning to make my own business, it's mad what you can actually achieve. It's the most corny quote ever, but it is actually mad what you can achieve if you just put 100% effort into something. It's mad.
Definitely. It's interesting as well. One last point I want to touch on before we both go. Callum made a very good point a minute ago, and I just want to focus on that for a second, because in 2026, what's your goals looking like for the next couple of years? What's your vision within barbering now?
So obviously, just focusing on the shop now. At least get to like a year, 2 years in the shop. Potentially open another shop, but also I wanna kind of set myself up for future. So as in like properties, a bit more passive, a bit more of a solid safety net. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, hopefully now by the end of this year, I'll have my own property. So it'd be a rental situation. And then
one thing that barbering's very good for, as you know, it's a good cash vehicle, isn't it? It's good for cash flow. So build your cash flow up in the game of barbering. Invest your money into properties where it's like not as great for cash flow, but for assets it's perfect. Yeah, and then you can set yourself up to be a self-made millionaire.
Yeah, that's the goal, mate. That's the goal.
That's it. Well, it's a matter of time. Wicked, bro. Great catching up with you, and I'm sure any barbers that are watching this today are going to be definitely inspired, man, because it's a fantastic story.
Yeah,
all right,
I appreciate that.
Let's go, bro.